party members, including senior leaders Nepal and Kanal, boycott the party's secretariat meeting, alleges the leadership of humiliating them. Effort to implement contribution-based pension scheme for government staff as well failed to materialize. Provision for only the private sector staff deemed discriminatory. U.S. President Donald Trump announces that his Chief of Staff John Kelly will leave his job by the end of the year. And Manchester City suffered their first loss at the English Premier League, loses to Chelsea 2-0. Nepal Communist Party's senior leaders Madhav Kumar Nepal and Jalnath Khanal and 2 other members have boycotted the party's secretariat level meeting yesterday, citing their humiliation by the top leadership. The 2 other leaders who shunned the meeting were Bamdev Gautam and the party spokesman Naran Kaji Shrestha. All the 4 leaders said that they were humiliated at the Prime Minister's residence in Balwatar when they reached the meeting venue on time. The party leaders said that they left the Prime Minister's residence after Chairman duo KP Sharma Oli and Pushpakamal Dahal did not show up even after half an hour since the meeting time scheduled for 3 p.m. They said that an agreement was already forged not to make the participants wait for more than 15 minutes in any secretariat level meeting. The ruling party's General Secretary Bishnu Paurel, however, said that there was delay in attending the meeting as the chairman duo had to meet a leader suffering from cancer. He said that he had no clue behind the reason for boycotting the meeting. The meeting was slated to mull over the work distribution among the central members and the establishment of the party's Politburo, among other issues. Likewise, holding discussion on the committees, sister organizations, and departments yet to be integrated after the party unification were also in the meeting's agenda. The leaders close to Madhav Kumar Nepal's panel have been criticizing the party leadership for failing to conclude the intra-party integration even after a long time since the unification and exhibiting high-handedness when it comes to distributing responsibilities. Meanwhile, yesterday's meeting was held without the participation of the 4 senior leaders, has decided to organize the standing committee meeting on the 15th of December. The government has brought the contribution-based social security scheme into implementation. The government employees, however, are eligible to receive pension without any contribution. The effort to introduce the contribution-based pension scheme for government staff as well has failed to materialize for the past 2 decades due to the lack of willpower on the political leadership and employees' interferences. The national budget in recent times has been including the issue of introducing the provision of contribution-based pension for the government employees as well. The provision is aimed at easing the burden on the state coffers as more than 250,000 citizens in the country from civil service sector, police, teaching profession, and Nepal Army have been receiving pension after their retirement. As much as 6.5% of the total tax collected from the public are spent on the pension scheme. Many countries in the world have already adopted the contribution-based pension scheme due to the state having to confront additional burden with the gradual increase in the overall pension amount. According to the administrative experts, as much as half of the country's budget would be used for salaries and pension of the government staff in the next 2 decades if the government fails to come up with an effective law in this regard at the earliest. The country's 10 trillion rupees of the budget is currently being spent for the salaries, allowances, and pension of employees every year. The different schemes for the private and government workers has not only been hampering the development works, but has created 2 types of citizens in the country. One is eligible to receive pension after retirement without even contribution, while the other is required to contribute a portion of their hard-earned payment. Experts are of the view that the scheme also does not sound ethical in terms of social justice. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. Miss Nepal Shrinkala Khatiwada gained a lot of exposure worldwide in her journey in the Miss World 2018 competition held last night. She, however, could not make it beyond the top 12. Thailand took over Shrinkhala while qualifying for top 5, while Mexico won the title of Miss World 2018.
Namaste. Being an architect, I realized the power of infrastructure. So we started out by building a health post at a remote area where an indigenous tribe live in my district. An area with 86% child marriage, malnutrition, where a woman of 30-year-old... I am Shrinkhala Khatibada of Dreams. On my way...
Nepal.
We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. Welcome back. The Pokhara municipality has reduced the criteria of Firke River from 10 meters to 5 meters and reduced the boundary criteria for Seti River and of other different rivers to their half as well. In this context, we had asked the locals of Pokhara what's their take on the decision of the municipality to reduce criteria instead of preserving the public property. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
सार्वजनिक सम्पत्ति त्यो आफ्नो जति मापदण्ड छ त्यो भन्दा घटाउन हुँदैन।
एक रुपैयाँ भएको मान्छे 4 रुपैयाँ भनेर हालको नापीमा दर्ता गरिसकेको छ। त्यसले चाहिँ हामीले खारेज गर्ने पर्छ, हामी सबै नगरवासीहरु लाग्नै पर्छ। यो स्वच्छ हावा र शान्त वातावरणमा हामी स्वच्छपूर्वक हिँड्न पाइन्छ भने त्यसलाई चाहिँ कायम गराउनै पर्छ।
उसको पहुँच र शक्ति भयो बेला उसले जे पनि गर्यो। अहिले पहुँच नभए बेला चाहिँ उ डराएर के गर्छन् कि भनेर घटाउन पर्यो भनेर किनुवा चाहिँ जुन ताल गरिरहेको छ त्यो किनुवामा जान दिन हुँदैन।
चाहे चाहिँ त्यो पहुँचवाला जाओस् चाहे जोसुकै जाओस् आफ्नो जुन चाहिँ के अरे नियम जुन छन् कानुन बनाएका छन् त्यो एकरूपता हुनु पर्यो। कसैलाई पनि तलमाथि काखा र पाखा गर्न पाइएन के।
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's today's question. What do you term the trend of high-ranking state officials attending programs of lesser significance? Your options are A, no understanding of responsibilities, and B, to gain popularity among cadres. The voting is on. Type in EWS, select your option A or B, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news.
Sports news.
Defending champions Biratnagar Warriors saw off Lalitpur Patriots by 3 wickets in the inaugural match of the Everest Premier League played yesterday. Karan Kesi displayed an all-round performance in Biratnagar's win. Lalitpur won the toss and elected to bat first in the match played at the Tribhuvan University ground in Kantipur, where they only could manage a meager total of 104 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in 20 overs. Lalitpur struggled right from the beginning and kept losing wickets at regular intervals. Lalitpur skipper Gyanendra Malla missed a half a century by just 1 run, as his innings of 49 runs included 3 fours and 2 sixes. Karan Kesi and Ray Van Del Merv picked 2 wickets each for Biratnagar. In reply, Biratnagar chased the target of 105 runs, losing 7 wickets with a ball to spare. Biratnagar also lost wickets at regular intervals, as at one point of time the scoreboard had read 73 runs at the loss of 7 wickets. However, Karan Kesi's aggressive batting display secured a win for Biratnagar. Biratnagar required 10 runs to win off the final over, and Karan hit a 6 to win the match. Karan remained unbeaten on 36 from 19 balls, with his innings including 1 4 and 3 sixes. Gaurav Tomar picked 3 wickets for Lalitpur, while Sandeep Lamichhane grabbed 2 for Lalitpur. Meanwhile, there are 2 matches slated for today at the Everest Premier League. The first match features a clash between Chitwan Tigers and Lalitpur Patriots, while Bhairawa Gladiators and Pokhara Rhinos face each other in the second match. The first match between Chitwan Tigers and Lalitpur Patriots starts at 9 this morning at the Tribhuvan University ground in Kantipur. Chitwan, captained by Prithu Baskota, will play their first match of the tournament today, while it will be Lalitpur's second match after suffering a loss in the inaugural match played yesterday. Meanwhile, the match between Bhairawa Gladiators and Pokhara Rhinos will start at 1 this afternoon at the same venue. Bhairawa Gladiators, who were runners-up in the last edition of the Everest Premier League, are under the captaincy of Sharad Veshwakar, while Pokhara Rhinos are led by Sakti Gochan. Manchester City have suffered their first loss at the English Premier League. In the match played last night, Chelsea blanked City 2-0. In the match played at Chelsea's home ground, Stafford Bridge, N'Golo Kante scored in the 45th minute of the match, making good use of Eden Hazard's pass and gave Chelsea a 1-0 lead. In the second half, David Luiz doubled Chelsea's lead in the 78th minute. Manchester City couldn't come back in the match, and Chelsea held on to win the match 2-0. With the loss, Manchester City's 21-match winning streak has come to an end. Before yesterday's loss, last night, City had last lost to Manchester United 2-1 last April. After the loss, City have dropped to the second spot of the league table with 41 points from 16 matches. Meanwhile, Liverpool have climbed to the top of the points table with 42 points after thrashing Bournemouth 4-0 last night. Mohamed Salah scored a hat-trick in the match, while Cook was also on the score sheet. Tottenham Hotspur are in the third spot in the points table with 36 points after defeating Leicester City 2-0. Likewise, Chelsea are fourth with 34 points. In other matches played last night, Manchester United defeated 10-men Fulham 4-1. Arsenal took care of Huddersfield 4-1. Burnley blanked Brighton 1-0. Cardiff City saw off Southampton 1-0, and West Ham defeated Crystal Palace 3-2. And before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Ruling party members, including senior leaders Nepal and Panal, boycott the party's secretariat meeting, alleges the leadership of humiliating them. Effort to implement contribution-based pension scheme for government staff as well failed to materialize. Provision for only the private sector staff deemed discriminatory. U.S. President Donald Trump announces that his Chief of Staff John Kelly will leave his job by the end of the year. And Manchester City suffered their first loss at the English Premier League, loses to Chelsea 2-0. And that's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 this morning. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good morning.